Hello, today we're going to take a look at building Microsoft Excel spreadsheets and using them to solve problems in agriculture. Today, in this week's assignment, we covered some basic problem solving, and we had a seeding cost problem. We had some feeding problems, figuring out amounts of feed on hand and amounts of feed required, and some other various problems. So today what I'm going to do is just show you how to build some Excel files that would help you to solve simple problems like these and that you may take home and use in the farming operation. Like I say, just to solve problems and use on a day-to-day basis to help with our management of our farm. So hopefully in class, or hopefully these population problems look familiar. Here we first solved a corn population problem and figured out the cost per acre. We just simply took seeds per acre times number of acres divided by seeds in a bag to get number of bags. Multiply number of bags by cost per bag to get total cost. And then took our total cost divided by number of acres to get dollar cost per acre. Soybeans a little bit different because there we figured out total number of seeds and then divided by seeds per pound to figure out number of bags, number of pounds of seed, and then divided by 50-pound bags, 50 pounds per bag to get number of bags needed. And from there we figured out that we needed 643 bags on this problem. Multiply that by number or dollars per bag to get total cost. Get total cost divided by number of acres to get cost per acre. And it's similar for oats and similar with alfalfa. The first problem that I'm going to go through and do an Excel file for you is the number 2 problem here, where looks like I Am Farmer has a 200 head beef cow operation, and he wants to plan his planting strategy to make sure that he's raising enough feed for his beef cow herd. And what we have in front of us is his feed ration. He feeds 30 pounds per head per day of corn silage. He feeds 5 pounds per head per day of alfalfa hay. His production is 20 tons of corn silage per acre and 400 tons of alfalfa hay per acre. So anytime we're going to produce an Excel file, we first have to understand how to do the mathematics so that we can adequately compute adequately program the computer to do the computations. So in this particular case, this is a pretty simple math problem here. We take our feed ration, first of all, to figure out our corn silage required. We're feeding 30 pounds per head per day times 180 days times 200 cows. That equals a total of 1,080,000 pounds for the 200 or for the 180 days. Divide that by 2,000 pounds per ton equals 540 tons. Now, if we have 540 tons and we can produce 20 tons per acre, that equals 27 acres needed to produce the corn silage. Hay, same thing. 180 days times 5 pounds per day times 200 cows is 180,000 pounds. Divide that by 2,000 pounds in a ton equals 90 tons. So we have a requirement of 90 tons an acre of hay. Divide that by 4 tons of yield per acre equals 22.5 acres. Okay, so let's try to solve this same problem with an Excel file. So a good thing to remember is, key that I try to go by all the time is figure out what do I know and what am I trying to figure out. I'm going to put a heading up here so that I know what my units are that I'm working with. For example, I'm going to put, I first figured out how many pounds and tons of hay and corn silage I need. So I'm going to label one row here hay, and the other one, excuse me, we'll start with corn silage first. The second one hay. Okay, now I'm going to call this category or this column daily requirement. And per head of cattle, I need 30 pounds of corn silage. I need 5 pounds of hay. You can see that my data here's on the right hand side. I want that to be in the middle, so I'm just going to simply highlight this where I'm going to put all my data here. I'm actually going to put my titles also. I'm going to highlight this and put it center right there. I'm also going to underline my headings here. So in both cases here I'm feeding for 180 days. Number of cows. This is a real basic spreadsheet here. I can make this more complicated where I only have to write this one time, but okay, so that's the first computation I did by hand. Is I took number of pounds of each feed fed times number of days times number of cows. So I'm going to have the computer compute that. I'm going to make that. I'm going to highlight that cell because I know there's going to be an answer come up here. So how do I make the computer do this? Well, whenever I want the computer to make a computation, I start with a formula by pushing the equals button. Equals, this cell will equal the number of pounds fed times number of days that it's fed times number of cows. Notice this is not an X for multiplication, it's the asterisk that could be found on your top of your keyboard on the 8 key by shifting and using the 8 key, or on the right hand side on your number pad just using the asterisk symbol. When I hit enter, there's the 1,080,000 pounds. Notice I had commas put in that number by just clicking the comma button here. And now if I want that to, if I'll make that, I'm going to wrap that text by the way by going up to here. That way I can fit all my text in that cell. Equals number of pounds divided by, I type in 2,000. 540 tons is what I need. Oh, by the way, a neat thing about Excel is once I've made this formula here where it's this cell times this cell times this cell, I can retype it into the next cell. Could be the same thing, 5 times 180 times 200. Or I can come up to here, click on the cell with the formula in it, approach the bottom right hand corner, wait till my cursor turns into this narrow X, click and drag down, and my formula drags down. I need 1,080,000 pounds of corn silage. I need 180,000 pounds of hay. I need 540 tons of corn silage. I need 90 tons of hay. I'm going to highlight those just for fun because the computer told me. The computer made a computation there. Now I know the yield, so I'm going to type that in here. And I yield 20 tons of corn silage per acre and 4 tons of hay. I need yield because I need the computer to tell me how many acres of each feed I need. And remember, when I did it by hand, I took my tons of feed required divided by my yield per acre to get acres required. So let's come up here. Acres needed equals my yield, my tons needed divided by my yield. And I could drag that down again. I need 27 acres of corn silage. I need 22.5 acres of hay. I can do this by hand also. Equals tons needed divided by, that's the division sign, divided by yield per acre, 22.5 acres. So that's problem 2 That is problem 2, determined in a Microsoft Excel file. Pretty simple. We can obviously add from here, but the neat thing is here is, let's say we change number of cows. The spreadsheet will compute my answer. Very easy to do. We can make this a lot more complicated very easily. We can add more and more sheets that apply to this sheet, and do a lot of really interesting things. Today we're just learning the very basics, and this is how you would compute problem number 2. So hope you enjoyed. Hope this makes sense and helps you out. Good luck.